Well, we'll get these mics going. If anything stood out in your studying or came to your attention, we'll take some time to share with one another before we take communion together.
Good morning. Is this one? Yeah, we're good. I didn't want to blast your ear off. My name is Mia, if we haven't met. And I was driving in this morning, just asking the Lord to speak to me and just put something on my heart and just talk to me. I just wanted to hear from the Lord. And he said something very quiet that he has said to me before. But as a young person, I really feel like this is for us, us young people. We're kind of all scattered around. The Lord really gave me this word and just placed it gently and tenderly on my heart. And it wasn't, I wanted to share it. And he just shared with me that it is his mercy that brings us into the light. With our sin, with our dirtiness, with our mess. It is his mercy and it is his kindness that brings us into the light. And it's something that he's taught me before and that he continues to teach me, but this morning it was just really pressed on my heart again. And I think it goes so well with what we're talking about in Hebrews, right? It goes so well with the new covenant and what he has us in, and who Jesus is, and who the Father is. They are one. And I just really felt like the Father was just saying to us young people, it is his mercy, When we talk about confession, when we talk about conviction, sometimes there's this gloomy presence around it, and I think that that's the enemy lying to us, It's not a stern father that hits their kid trying to get them to do the right thing. That's not what it is. It is his mercy. It is his gentleness. It is his tenderness that brings us into the light. When our sin is dark and when it's heavy, that is not the Lord bringing condemnation on us. That is not him trying to beat us into submission. It is a call, that the enemy has skewed and has twisted up in lies of condemnation and deception and guilt and shame. That is not from the Lord. That is not from the Lord. The new covenant, like Chris was saying, it's not this long process of yearly having to do this over and over again and heavy, and that is beautiful. The law is beautiful. Jesus did not come to abolish it, but to fulfill it. All of the things that he has called us to, all of the rules and regulations, those are not rules and regulations, friends. Those are beautiful things that he has called us into, to walk in how we were designed to walk. Close with him, tenderly and sweetly with him in relationship and talking his ear off, And I just imagine a sweet father sitting us down and just saying, hey, this is not how you were meant to walk. This is not how you were meant to walk. This is not how you were meant to live. You are heavy, you are burdened. He has rest. And that looks like living in the light. That looks like freedom, right? And so I just wanted to share that, because I just really feel like our generation, if we aren't careful, we walk too freely in the lie that grace is just like covers, just like it does cover. You know what I'm trying to say? When Paul said, because we have grace, does that mean that we keep on sinning? By no means. I think that that's a lie that the enemy uses as well, to just say, you know what, we just won't talk about it. We just won't talk about the sin. We just won't talk about the things that are hard to talk about. No, Jesus, he does. He talks about it. But there's no shame. There's no heaviness with him, So I just really, it was in my belly, This word was just overflowing out of me. And I just prayed as I came up here, Lord, have it be with a clean heart that I share this, And I think a big part of that is confession among us, And one thing that the Lord has just been working on me so much is I struggle a lot with distraction and knowing that I'm distracted and succumbing to that and just saying, well, it's just the way that it is. I'm just going to spend another hour scrolling. It's just the way that it is. But I don't want to, And I know that that's kind of where we're all at as a generation, is the distraction is so real. And I know that it is all the time and throughout all ages, but I think that that's a really, really big, pull, just get distracted. Don't spend time with me. That's the lie of the enemy, that's the lie of the enemy. He wants to spend time with you. The Lord wants you, and he wants to meet with you and wants to spend time with you. So I just knew that coming up here with a clean heart, I would have to confess something too, I would have to confess a way that I'm succumbing to something that the Lord has asked me to surrender. So I love you all. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a family that loves one another and that calls us into walking in freedom in the Lord, So I love you all.
Hello, I'm Kent. Just wanted to, as I was thinking about the temple, we think about the two places, the holy place and the most holy place, and this veil, this very big, thick veil separating the two. And then when Christ dies, this veil gets torn, right? Chris talked about that. That must have been an amazing and astonishing and shocking thing for the priests at the time, right? So I don't think they could have dismissed it by accident. I mean, this curtain, this veil must have been really thick, right? I mean, I'm sure if we went up and tried to tear it with our own hands, we couldn't do it. If you think about a few stories in the Old Testament, the power of God, a couple stories come to mind. Do you remember when the ark was brought into the temple of Dagon, I think was the name of the god? Anyone remember that? And do you remember what happened? So overnight, the statue of Dagon falls down, right? And so the people who worshipped him, I think they picked it up, put it back up. So, it must have been a little accident, something, maybe earthquake, I don't know. But then it happens again. I think his head falls off or something, right? So, this pagan god couldn't stand in the presence of the Lord, the ark that was there. And I think of Elijah too, right? He goes and he challenges the priests of Baal. And he says, he sets up this altar and says, I challenge you, if Baal is real, bring fire down and eat up, I think it was some bulls or whatever they had there to sacrifice. And the priests of Baal, they did all their crazy stuff, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't call down the power of God. But then Elijah, he even challenges even more. He puts the water in there, and yet the power of God comes down and just shows up in this pagan fake god, right? Now you think about the veil again. This is a little bit different, right? I mean, this is God's temple, his holy temple. And this thick curtain is suddenly being torn. What is going on? I mean, is there something greater than the Hebrew God here? I mean, that's what you might think, right? I wonder what those priests thought. And no, not greater than God, right? But something new must have happened, right? Jesus died, and he tore open that veil. Something different happened, right? So, if you think about it, what was I going to say? So essentially, the power of God, the substance of God was present and had power when Jesus died. Because if you read about in Colossians, it talks about how the things of the temple and everything was a shadow of what is to come, right? So Jesus is the substance. So it's not that someone more powerful than God came. It's just that the substance, the real thing was there, and he broke the veil and made a way. So,
Good morning. My name is Sophia. I just wanted to get up and testify to what has really been working inside of me as I've been sitting and studying and questioning and pondering. The thing that stood out to me the most today, and I really appreciate that you pointed this out as well, Chris. The first thing that was ever attacked in the garden was the character and the heart of our Creator Father. That was the first thing that was called into question. That was the first thing that was hung out there for the first two people to really think about, question, wonder, and doubt. Does my Creator Father have a good heart? Does my Creator Father have my best interest in mind? Is He trustworthy? Is He true? Is He faithful? Is He good? Is He kind? Is He loving? Or is He something else? Something that the enemy wanted to create a question or a doubt or a concern in our minds. Does He really have our best interest at heart? Have you ever had a high school teacher or a college professor that you felt like was just their main goal and mission was to just get you what you didn't know? And you performed and you performed and you studied and you studied and you were striving and striving, and every test you took, you could never really measure up because the goal of that person was to get you in what you did not know. So is that what we believe about our Creator Father? And so the beauty of this chapter and the beauty of what you pointed out, Chris, and it's the beauty that started in the beginning and the beauty that continues on. It wasn't lesser, it wasn't bad. It was this beautiful sense that not only was there the first section in the tent where you go in every day, because every day you know I screwed up. Every day I told a lie or I messed up or I, whatever. But if that wasn't enough, He went a step further to demonstrate His heart for us. He created the Holy of Holies, the place that you would go once a year to make atonement for what you do not know. He's not this creator God that's just waiting for you to screw up in what you do not know and then hold that against you or lord that over you. He already factored that in. And His heart is, come close to me, and I'm going to cover you. Come close to me. The three things in that Ark of the Covenant: manna, sustenance, provision. I will provide for you. A staff, leadership, guidance. I will lead you in the right way. The law. I'll tell you what you don't know. I'll put it on your heart. I'll make you clean. Justice and mercy. And then if that wasn't enough, He tore the curtain, made a pathway. Come and be with me. Not in your performance, not in your perfection, not in your measuring up. Come be with me. So that's what He said to me this week. Thank you.